This week's a pretty big week when it comes to NASCAR and different things changing. You got TNT coming back. You're now racing to the playoffs. And on top of all of that, NASCAR has introduced with Turner their new in-season tournament. And it's basically just the Denny Hamlin bracket challenge from last year, except now a driver can win $1 million. So then I wanted to go round by round, picking every single driver that I think will make it to each round and who's going to win. Let's see if your bracket aligns with mine. Okay, so here I got the page up. Let's go round by round, starting with the first one. So we're starting out at Atlanta. They have not renamed it to Echo Park on here. So congratulations, NASCAR, on that. We approve. I'll pick Denny Hamlin because, in my opinion, even though he's not so good at Atlanta, still really pretty good at super speedways overall. And can you really trust Ty Dillon? Second matchup, Kyle Busch versus Brad Keselowski. So Brad's been pretty bad this year. Kyle's been pretty bad this year. Both have been good at Atlanta, but I'm going to go with the Ford. Brad Keselowski, I think, will get the edge in this one. I think just in general, the Fords are way better than the other manufacturers with speed at this track. It's just about luck, and that's the whole thing with this. The first round is going to eliminate a lot of really good people. And this is the crazy thing about the point side of things is Alex Bowman is the 8th seed versus Joey Logano, the 25th. So technically this is an upset. Joey is my pick for that. Joey Logano, in my opinion, is probably every time they go there, one of, if not the car to beat. He won there last year at the start of the playoffs, and he's always been fast. Bubba Wallace and Daniel Suarez. This one's interesting to me because both of them are pretty good at super speedways, but I'm going to go with the guy that won. I'm going to go with Daniel Suarez as my pick. I think that Suarez is, if I had to, gun to my head, pick one, the safer option of the two. Then there is John Hunter Nemechek versus Josh Berry. Now, I talked about the Ford side of it earlier. John Hunter Nemechek, at least from what I can remember, has been somewhat decent at getting good finishes at Atlanta. I don't know really as much with Josh Berry, but for some reason, as much as, again, I talk about the Ford preference here, for some reason, I'm going to go with John Hunter Nemechek. The guy's actually had some pretty good momentum on his side as of late. I think he has 2 straight 6th place finishes, which is just crazy to say for a legacy car. Then you got Chase Elliott versus Austin Dillon. I don't care what you want to say about Chase. The guy can finish these races, and he's been finishing plenty of races. I am going to go with Chase on this one. Ross Chastain and Eric Jones. Again, Trackhouse, Ross Chastain, all these guys can run up front in these. So can Eric Jones and Legacy. I'm going to go with the upset on this one. I think this is actually a real upset. I'll go Eric Jones with it. I don't know why, but I feel like Ross is very hit or miss when it comes to super speedways too. C-Bell versus Ricky S. Jr. They couldn't put his full name in. This one is, I think, another one where I'm going to go with the favorite. Ricky Stenhouse is pretty good at these super speedways, but Christopher Bell, in my opinion, is somebody who's been consistently pretty good at Atlanta. He was up front, won this race the last time they were there. I'm going to go with the recency bias this time. And then you got the most recent winner, Chase Briscoe versus Noah Gragson. Noah Gragson historically has been horrible at the new Atlanta. I think his average finish is somewhere around the low 20s to 30s, somewhere in there. I mean, it's just absolutely awful. Always crashes out. And he's probably going to do the same damn thing. So I'm going to go Briscoe on this one. Preece versus Byron. This is an interesting one because William Byron has this win here and has won here, has ran well, and at the same time can be very hit or miss with the finishes as well, as most people are at a super speedway. But Ryan Preece is somebody that I feel like he has the momentum on his side. So I think that's what makes it really interesting, difficult of a pick for me between the 60, a Ford again. I know I said the Ford thing, and then I'm going to completely make myself a hypocrite out of it because I'm going to pick William Byron on this one. Ryan Blaney versus Carson Hocevar. Both of these two, actually, it's amazing that they're head-to-head because they had a run-in last time they were at Atlanta. Blaney ended up nearly getting completely wrecked, saved it for the most part off of the bumper of Hocevar. Hocevar goes on to finish in the top 3, and it's easy to argue that if they raced to the line, Hocevar would have won this race. So I think both of these guys will run up towards the front, and I do think that both of them will lead a lot of laps in this. This could be the run to the finish. These two side by side to the finish. I'm going to go with Ryan Blaney, though. I think Ford is better. Kyle Larson versus Tyler Reddick. This is what I really don't like about the way they seeded this, is that you have two guys who are favorites or at least easy top 10 points guys for the majority of the year. And they have to go against each other round 1, and we're making this stuff just, in my opinion, way closer than it needs to be. I wish that this was a later round fight. I wish this was something that could have happened at Indianapolis. But Kyle Larson has not been horrible at New Atlanta. It's Kyle Larson, though, at a super speedway, and I'm not sure how much I trust that. That's the thing, is I think they seeded it this way so it wasn't just a runaway winner. Because Tyler Reddick, he can run up front there too. But neither of these guys I really have any confidence in this race. I'll go with Larson just because I think it makes it more interesting as it goes. Michael McDowell versus AJ Allmendinger. Allmendinger has been pretty decent here. McDowell, a really good super speedway guy. I'm going to go AJ on this. I think AJ is going to make it really interesting moving forward. Haley versus Ty Gibbs. So I'm not 100% sure on Ty Gibbs here, but I do think that Justin Haley would be a pretty decent pick. And I like the upset factor, even though I think these two are a lot closer than probably a lot of Ty Gibbs fans would like to say. So I'm going to go with the upset on this. I'll go Justin Haley. Zane Smith versus Austin Cindric. Easiest pick so far. Austin Cindric. He might be the favorite to win this race. So Austin Cindric's my pick. I'm going to so regret making that pick when he gets eliminated on a crash on like lap 3. Chris Buescher versus Todd Gilliland. So Gilliland ran pretty good here before. This team runs pretty good at Atlanta. You got two Fords. Buescher, of course, in a Ford is probably going to run up front in that group as well. Has a lot of momentum on his side. You feel like that win could come at any point. But I'm going to go with the 30 seed of Todd Gilliland. I like that. Now we go all the way back up to the top. Round 2, the Chicago Street Course. We got first round Denny Hamlin versus Brad Keselowski. I'm going to go Denny Hamlin. I don't trust Brad at road courses as much anymore. Next, we got Joey Logano versus Daniel Suarez. This is another one where Suarez has run pretty well at road courses, but I don't know if I really buy in with Suarez all that much, if you know what I mean. And Joey Logano, I think, can be a solid top 10 guy as long as nothing stupid happens. I'm going to go Joey on this one. Chase Elliott versus John Hunter Nemechek. Another easy one for me. I'm going to go Chase. I know he's not the dominator at road courses anymore, but Chase is still pretty damn good at these. Eric Jones versus C. Bell. Christopher Bell was one of the best there last year. I don't see why that would change. They're starting it earlier in the day, so fingers crossed we don't have just generational rain again. So I'm going to go Bell on this one. This is, see, once we get past the super speedway, it kind of gets a little more chalky with it. Round 2 with Briscoe and Byron. I'm going to go William Byron on this one. I think William Byron's pretty good at the road courses. Ryan Blaney versus Kyle Larson. I will fully admit this is part of the reason why I kind of picked Larson to go further than Reddick, though I think either of them would have passed by this. I am going to go Kyle Larson to make it to the next round here. Then AJ Allmendinger versus Justin Haley. Listen, I know Haley's run well before here and had his moments, but it's AJ Allmendinger at a road course. Of course I'm going to pick AJ. And then Austin Cindric versus Todd Gilliland. Cindric, again, he's been very hit or miss at road courses in his Cup career. He was great in the Xfinity Series, and you kind of ask yourself, like, what happened? I think as the new car happened, but I think he has the ability to run here. I like the upside better with Cindric, so I will pick him. So round 3, we go to Sonoma, another road course here. And this is another one, Denny Hamlin versus Joey Logano. Again, I really don't trust either all that much. Denny Hamlin last year when he had issues here was running really well. He might have been running in the lead or top 10 or top 5 somewhere. Don't remember off the top of my head, but he was running pretty good. And I think he can do pretty good here. But I like Joey for some reason to keep making it past. So Joey, as the 25 seed, makes it to the next round. And then Chase Elliott versus Christopher Bell. So this one's actually more difficult for me, right? Because I do like Chase Elliott still at the road courses. I think he's really, really good at them. I mean, you saw the speed at Mexico. And I would argue that there's certain aspects of Mexico that are very similar more to a Sonoma or a Watkins Glen than, say, a Chicago street race. Now, there's other things as well with that. Bell was running pretty good in that too, right? He was up front. They both finished, I believe, in the top 5. So that's a difficult one for me. Oh man, now we're actually getting into where it's actually kind of tough. I think I'm gonna go with Chase. I feel like he has the slight edge for me, at least. I already know there's people at home, Hendrick, Homer, and all that, and that's really funny if you've ever watched this channel. Speaking of Hendrick, William Byron versus Kyle Larson. So you got Willie B here, the 18 seed versus the 10 seed of Larson. Ooh. So this is another one that to me is really, really difficult because I think both of them have that upside to win here. And I think both of them will be competing for this race. I wouldn't be surprised if it's 3 Hendrick guys up there competing for this race, with it being Sonoma. But I think I will go Larson on this one. I know it's kind of chalky and all, but I do have a little more faith in Kyle Larson here. And then AJ Allmendinger versus Austin Cindric. Now, historically in his career, AJ actually does have difficulty running up front and going for the win at Sonoma. He runs well, but it's not like he's setting the world on fire. So I think this will actually be a lot closer if he makes it this far than people will otherwise probably say they think it is. Cindric, again, I think can run top 10, maybe top 5 if he hits that upside of it, but he also has struggled so much at road courses. I can't trust him enough. I'm going to go AJ on this to make it to the semifinals. So now we go back to the top, and we have Dover, Joey Logano versus Chase Elliott. So in the past, Chase has run really well here, and I think that there should be some of that upside with Chase Elliott here compared to maybe some other tracks. That team, though, has been a bit off as well. So I could very easily see them running the first 100 or 200 laps, maybe in the top 5, right? And then Allen makes a bad adjustment and you end up with, just a 15th place car the rest of the day. And yeah, sure, he'll keep his top 20 streak alive. But other than that, he'll be, just garbage for Hendrick standards. On the other end, I do think that Joey Logano and Penske this year have shown a lot more speed than before. And I think that upside is something that I would want to look at a bit more when it comes to which one would win the edge. And I do think that the 22 team doesn't always happen, but usually gets better as races go on. So I'm going to go Joey. I think Joey makes the next round here, the final round. And then you got Kyle Larson, AJ Allmendinger. I got to say, the part of the bracket that Allmendinger came from, too, I think was relatively weak. And I think somebody weak is going to make it this far and be like that spoiler. So I'm going to go Kyle Larson on this one, meaning the last round is at Indianapolis, and it's Joey Logano versus Kyle Larson. And we all know how last year ended out. Kyle Larson won the race at Indy. He's been pretty good there in the past. He's been pretty good at these longer, flat tracks, too. And I think this is the one that outlasts Joey. I know it's kind of chalk, but I will go Kyle Larson as my win pick for this. I know that people are going to roll their eyes at it just because it's like, oh, great. You know, another Kyle Larson win, whatever. Put it on the belt of you know, greatest driver in the world crap and all of that. But let me know. Let me know down in the comments below. Who is your pick to win? Who's maybe your underdog that can make it far? Who's somebody you think is going to get taken out at Atlanta early? That's the thing. If Kyle Larson gets past Atlanta, I think he's the favorite. Thing is he got to get past Atlanta. I just trust him a little more over Reddick. That's literally all that I have right now for Larson's bedrock to make it far. So let me know down in the comments below. I guarantee all of you disagree with me. So let me know down there in the comments below. All right, leave a like on the video, share this video, and subscribe to this channel for more great and fun NASCAR content. Thank you so much from all my channel members for your continued support. Until next time, have a good one.